This is Shane Larrabee with FatLab Web Support, and I want to talk about why web development in 2025 is a paradox, where the work is easier than ever, but the business of web development is getting harder and harder. Web development has never been easier, and here's why. Every problem has a solution online now. I started my career before Google was a thing. I had to keep reference books on library shelves in order to look up how to do certain things. I had books on PHP, HTML, ASP Classic, JavaScript, Cold Fusion, and more. So that kind of ages me, but my point is that Stack Overflow, Reddit, Google, tutorials, these weren't things back then. Today, everything can be found online, and what can't be found easily online can be even easier found with AI-generated solutions. And to sound like a really old man, I could pull the, back in my day, we worked in text files and had to debug things ourselves, and compared to you kids with your debugging IDEs and AI built right into your software that can basically do anything you ask it to do without writing one lick of code. And the truth is, the code that AI writes is pretty darn good. ChatGPT, Copilot, Perplexity, Claude, AI can generate full functions and even full websites today. Junior devs can build things without fully understanding how they work. And that makes the barrier of entry into this industry so freaking low. The tooling is ridiculous compared to 20 years ago. Version control, package managers, frameworks, site builders, all these dev tools. It used to take days to set up just a local dev environment. Now Docker, NPM, and one-click hosting takes care of that for you. Devs today simply don't know the struggle of manually setting up a LAMP stack. So if you're just getting started in 2025 as a developer, let me tell you, it has never been easier. But that's where the problems start. Making a living as a developer has never been harder. The industry is in a race to the bottom. Web dev has always been a commodity, and now more work is expected in the same amount of time. In the early 2000s, 10 websites a year could sustain a freelancer. Now you need to do dozens just to keep the bills paid. Even hosting, which was once a steady revenue stream, has plummeted in pricing, which now means as a small business owner, I have to host more websites to make the same amount of money that I used to before, and that means more responsibility for less price. And this is a big complaint I have, and a challenge I just can't figure out a solution for. And that is that my hourly rate has not changed in like 20 years, but inflation has. 20 years ago, when I got out of working for the big agencies, I started charging $125 to $150 an hour. Guess what I'm charging today? I can't reasonably raise that much higher because my client base isn't going to allow that. But at the same time, if you think about the value of $125 an hour 20 years ago versus today, the difference is astounding. So if the market won't bear higher rates and inflation has destroyed what that money is worth, does that mean I have actually declined throughout my career? The other thing is that I'm now 20 years better than I was 20 years ago. obviously. I'm faster. I know a hell of a lot more, but I'm making less in real dollars today than I was when I was more junior. AI has flooded the market with developers who aren't really developers. They may be great prompt engineers, but they don't have the classic skills that someone like myself has. AI makes it so easy for people to call themselves developers without any real experience, and that makes the old man in me really grumpy. What makes me even more grumpy is that, let's be honest, clients don't know the difference between a real dev and someone who just copies AI code. They don't care. As long as their problems are finding solutions, then they are happy. That means actual developers are competing with people who don't actually understand what they're building. Ugh, that's infuriating. Then there's the expectations from the client. Clients expect that no-code simplicity from their developers. Wix, Squarespace, and no-code tools have changed expectations. Clients have alternatives now. They don't need everything to be custom built, but they assume everything should be drop and drag easy because they've seen those incredible commercials by Squarespace and Wix and Shopify and so on. It makes it look so easy. The other thing is that clients think that they can hire a dev once and then do everything themselves in the future. So we're struggling now to validate our reoccurring revenue, which again is just another challenge to pile onto this. So the client wants the flexibility of a no-code tool, but with full customization. Why can't I just move this over here? Why does this require development time? They want WordPress to behave like Wix and Squarespace, and they don't understand why it doesn't work that way. I have a whole nother video about how those hosted solutions might actually be a better fit for a lot of clients, and that maybe WordPress is a solution for certain kinds of clients, but not others. But anyway, I digress. So in 2025, we're competing with no-code tools, cheap platforms, and AI-generated solutions. Clients don't always see the value of custom development until they get burned by something else. In a way, the market has become completely saturated between no-code tools, AI developers, point-and-click developers, and junior devs passing themselves off as senior developers. But you know what? The work hasn't gone away. There are more developers than ever, or I should say, there are more developers than ever. But real businesses still need actual expertise. The bad developers or AI-built sites that eventually break, and clients do come back to the professionals. The trick is positioning yourself as the expert to fix the mess. And that's one reason why I continue down this road of focusing on providing support services versus development services. So for me, the key to survival is specialization. And that is offering support services, maintenance services, and hosting services, and not necessarily advertising that we build new websites. The truth is, if you're just another WordPress developer, you're replaceable. If you're a web developer who fixes performance issues, does AI integration, or solves technical problems others can't, then you become invaluable, at least for a time. So I guess the mixed bag here, and the good news is the industry is crowded, but actual skilled developers are still needed. Just not in the way they used to be, I think. So yeah, web development in 2025 is easier to learn than ever, but harder than ever to turn into a long-term career. If you want to survive in this industry, you have to do more than just build websites. You have to be a problem solver. And if you're like me and you're still charging what you were many years ago and haven't figured out a way to kind of break above that ceiling, then welcome to the club. I'd love to chat.